Good evening. Tonight, 5 of America's most iconic corporations have announced plans to move major operations overseas, citing tariffs as the breaking point. This is not a minor shift, it threatens hundreds of thousands of jobs and entire communities. These companies blame escalating costs and supply chain chaos from protectionist trade policies. The narrative that tariffs protect American jobs is now under direct challenge. We'll examine the statements from each company and the real impact on American manufacturing. Let's get started. Ford Motor Company, a symbol of American industry, has announced a major production shift to Mexico and Europe. Ford's leadership blames tariffs on steel, aluminum, and key components for adding over $1 billion in annual costs. They say these costs make U.S. manufacturing unsustainable without raising prices and losing sales. Their statement, "We did not make this decision lightly. The current tariff landscape has made domestic production at scale impossible." Ford's move will trigger massive job losses not just at Ford but across suppliers and local businesses. Entire towns built around Ford plants now face economic uncertainty. The company will offer severance and retraining, but for many the future is unclear. Retaliatory tariffs have also closed off export markets for American-made vehicles, squeezing Ford from both ends. The irony is clear: policies meant to protect Made in America are driving production away. Ford highlights the complexity of global supply chains. A single tariff can disrupt the entire process. Tariffs on battery components and rare earth minerals have also derailed Ford's U.S. electric vehicle plans, shifting investment overseas. Ford's message to policymakers: current trade policy forces a choice between national loyalty and financial survival. Lawmakers are demanding answers, while some accuse Ford of chasing cheap labor. But for workers, the debate is irrelevant. Their jobs are vanishing. Ford's decision is a stark warning. Even the most American of companies can't afford to stay under these policies. The ripple effect will be felt far beyond the assembly line. This is not just about cars, it's about the future of American industry. Ford's move signals a fundamental shift in the nation's economic landscape. The company insists it remains committed to America, but the numbers no longer add up. The story of Ford is now a story of loss, uncertainty, and a challenge to the very idea of American manufacturing. The debate over tariffs is no longer theoretical, it's personal for thousands of families. Ford's exit is a wake-up call for policymakers and workers alike. The question now: who's next, and what does this mean for the American dream? Apple, a global tech leader, is ending its U.S. assembly operations, reversing its high-profile move to bring some manufacturing home. Apple's statement tariffs on hundreds of essential components have made U.S. assembly economically impossible. The Austin, Texas Mac Pro plant, once a symbol of American tech manufacturing, will close. Apple says tariffs on imported parts have pushed costs past the breaking point. The company calls this a technology tax, arguing tariffs stifle innovation and advanced manufacturing in the U.S. Uncertainty over future tariffs makes long-term planning for U.S. projects impossible. Apple also fears retaliatory measures could threaten its access to the Chinese market, a major revenue source. By moving production abroad, Apple hopes to avoid being caught in a trade war crossfire. The loss of skilled, high-tech jobs in Austin is a blow to the idea of American leadership in advanced manufacturing. Apple will continue to invest in U.S. software and retail, but not manufacturing. Their message: we'll design and sell in America, but current policies make it irrational to build here. Apple's decision highlights the reality of global supply chains. Tariffs on one part disrupt the whole. The dream of a self-contained American tech industry is colliding with economic reality. For Apple, the core problem is a clash between political vision and global economics. The closure of the Austin plant is more than a business decision. It's a warning about the limits of protectionism. Apple's move signals that even the most innovative companies can't outmaneuver global trade barriers. The future of American tech manufacturing is now in question. Apple's exit is a loss for skilled workers and a challenge to policymakers. The lesson: innovation needs open supply chains, not walls. The debate over tariffs is now a debate over America's place in the tech world. Apple's story is a cautionary tale for the entire industry. General Electric, a titan of American industry, is relocating major divisions of its aviation and power systems manufacturing overseas. GE's CEO says U.S. operations are now financially unsustainable under current tariffs. Specialty metals and high-tech materials, mostly imported, have become prohibitively expensive. European and Asian competitors can build the same products for less, outbidding GE globally. This move will devastate industrial centers in Ohio, South Carolina, and New York, hubs of advanced engineering and research. GE's aviation division, once a crown jewel, is especially vulnerable. Tariffs on even a few precision parts disrupt production and add millions in costs. The uncertainty of trade policy freezes investment and stifles growth. GE's power division faces similar pressures, with tariffs making US-built turbines less competitive abroad. Retaliatory tariffs have shrunk export markets, compounding the crisis. GE warns that tariffs are slowing America's transition to renewable energy, forcing green tech manufacturing overseas. The company frames its decision as reluctant but necessary for survival. GE's departure is symbolic. If even Edison's company can't make it work, what does that say about US industry? The move signals a loss of confidence in America's economic future. GE's story is a powerful indictment of current trade policy. The consequences go beyond jobs. They threaten America's high-tech industrial base. The ground has shifted, perhaps irreversibly, for American manufacturing. GE's exit is a warning. Policy has real, lasting consequences. Caterpillar, builder of America's infrastructure, is moving key assembly lines abroad, citing crushing tariff costs. Tariffs on steel and components have added hundreds of millions to Caterpillar's expenses, fundamentally altering their business model. The company says it faced three choices: absorb the costs, raise prices, or move operations. They chose the latter. This is a devastating blow to the Midwest, especially Peoria, Illinois, where Caterpillar is a cornerstone. Thousands of jobs and generations of community investment are at risk. Retaliatory tariffs have hammered Caterpillar's exports, targeting their iconic machines. The company is squeezed, paying more for materials and facing export taxes abroad. U.S. manufacturing hubs have become liabilities, not strengths. The impact extends to Caterpillar's dealer network, family businesses in all 50 states. Higher machinery prices hurt sales, so moving production is an attempt to keep prices stable, but at the cost of American jobs. The political irony is sharp. Policies meant to protect companies like Caterpillar are driving them away. The company blames the lack of a predictable trade strategy for making long-term planning impossible. By relocating, Caterpillar seeks stability and a future outside the U.S. The story is one of uprooting. Decades of investment and community ties are being dug up. For workers, the yellow machines now symbolize a future being dismantled. Caterpillar's move is a direct contradiction of promises made to protect American industry. The company's frustration is clear. Business needs certainty, not volatility. The lesson: even the strongest roots can be unearthed by unstable policy. Caterpillar's exit is a warning to all of industrial America. The ground beneath American manufacturing is shifting fast. Whirlpool, a household name and early supporter of tariffs, is now moving appliance production overseas. Initially, tariffs on imported washers helped Whirlpool, but broader tariffs on steel and components erased those gains. The company says, "The policy designed to help us has ended up hurting us." Ohio and Tennessee plants, once central to Whirlpool's U.S. strategy, are now casualties of the trade war. Foreign competitors adapted by moving assembly to countries not covered by tariffs, while Whirlpool paid higher prices for U.S. steel. The result: Whirlpool was penalized for manufacturing in America, while rivals found loopholes. The company calls this an unlevel playing field created by U.S. policy. The only rational move: follow competitors abroad to survive. Consumers saw higher prices for all brands, but now, moving production is the only way to keep prices competitive. The cost American jobs, pitting U.S. consumers against U.S. workers. Whirlpool's reversal is a political bombshell, undermining the argument for protectionist policy. The company regrets the impact on its workforce, forced to dismantle operations it once fought to protect. Whirlpool's story is a cautionary tale about the unintended consequences of economic intervention. What began as targeted protection became a web of tariffs and retaliation. Whirlpool is now caught in a spin cycle of rising costs and shifting global dynamics. The only way out: pull the plug on American factories. The lesson: trade wars rarely end as planned. Whirlpool's exit is a warning to policymakers and workers alike. The company's journey shows how quickly fortunes can reverse. The debate over tariffs is now a debate over American jobs and competitiveness. Whirlpool's story is a final, sobering chapter in this industrial exodus. Tonight, 5 pillars of American industry, Ford, Apple, GE, Caterpillar, and Whirlpool, have all cited trade policy as the reason for leaving U.S. manufacturing behind. The immediate impact, tens of thousands of lost jobs and hollowed-out communities. The long-term consequence, a loss of confidence in America as a place to do business. This is not just about numbers, it's about real people and the future of the U.S. economy. The bottom line, the current approach isn't working. If these policies drive out the very companies they were meant to help, what comes next? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. For now, thank you for watching.